Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
You keep thinking you're going to get, like, through that without a 30-second cut, and it'll just be done. No, 5 minutes. That's how long the intro is. Deal with it. Some of you don't love that. So I was going to do the show like maybe last hour, but I had this horrible crisis. There was this giant yellow jacket, wasp, and I usually don't mind, but, you know, it was really big. And I have a personal kind of feeling about wasps. It's not just white Anglo-Saxon psychopaths. No, I mean even just the regular yellow jackets, because they don't make honey. They don't die when they sting you. Everything about wasps is horrifying. I remember as a child thinking to myself, I kind of had the world figured out because of bees. I was thinking that bees were all right. Like, even if they kill you because they die, you know, my mom was allergic to bees, and you don't want to get stung by a bee if you're allergic to a bee. But at least the bee dies. It's a kamikaze mission. It's like this jihad of the bee, you know, to save the queen. I get it. Yellow jackets don't have anything like that. And this sucker was huge. I mean, it was literally, seriously, I am not exaggerating. It was like this big. It was, it was just scary. So, Katie had asked us a while ago to show some of the fan mail that she had sent. And I was like, yeah. And then I didn't do it for like a week. I think it's been a week. It might have been longer than that. So, but the thing is, it's worth it. Trust me here. So I've got some fan mail, and it's not really fan mail. It's not like, Dear Andreas, I think you're dreamy. I'm a fanatic. No, it's more like, hey, science. You know, here's some stuff from the World's Fair. Which World's Fair? The 1939, I believe, World's Fair. Yeah. Ba-boom. New York World's Fair 1939. I mean, this is like one of my favorite things I've ever held in my hands. You know, it reminds me of things my grandparents had that was worth holding in their hands. Let me see if I can do this. Boo, 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 boo. It's designed to be like, check out a picture of my grandkids, you know? And you've got all of these great pictures of the World's Fair. There's a letter, though. I feel like it was imprudent to start doing this without reading the letter. So, might do that before I flip through these pictures. You know they exist. Oh God, it's New York. Oh, good, it's New York. I thought you were going to say, oh, God, it's New York. That's pretty funny. So, here's the letter. And Katie, God, I hope you're still here, or came back, or, you know, because imagine trying to keep up with my lack of a schedule. It's like, maybe he'll be on today at some time. I'm on every day. You just don't know when. It's like not the same bat time. Never the same, never the same bat time, but the same bat channel for a lot of the time. Some of the time. God, I'm making it overly hard for you guys. Hi, Exert. I hope this finds you continuing to live free despite the circumstances. See, this is from COVID times, you know, and this was actually a very valuable moment in my life. I really appreciated this, but the whole world fell apart, and we never covered this. I ended up at, like, Timcast. Like, talk about, you know, hellscape. So my cousin Jack picked this folder out of some ladies' vacation file cabinet at an estate sale. Said he paid $1.50 for the folder. Well, I'm glad it wasn't too expensive, but whoa, this is definitely worth it. Thought you'd get a kick out of it, and I'll just end up throwing it away, frowny face. Your friend, Katie wants to go. Katie wants to go. All right, and then on the other side, there's more. Hold on. I found the handwritten notes amazing. The 2-cent, I believe, postage stamps on one of your postcards is cool. I see a lot of images I just might see again. Hold on. Oh, I want to fix my screen, but I have all the notes on the keyboard. Irony. Okay. If this old world stuff, all crossed out, is Fort Niagara a star fort? Nice images in Seeing Niagara pamphlet. The Malta cross on the back of the Foundry Church pamphlet. Her penciled in route on the map, correspondence, handwritten notes, and written in cursive. The notes of a mother to a daughter, perhaps. Nice view of the Empire State pamphlet. The back side of the New York Central System pamphlet. How to get the best out of your trip to New York. It's World Fair pamphlet. Neat effing map in the Marilinda Yacht pamphlet. Very good, very good. Well, okay. Let's see what we can do to pull these open. So we'll start with that. Here's the There, it's just in the right place for this to make sense. And then I can put my microphone here. I'm gonna get this all figured out. This is how we'll do it. Boom. And then the back side you saw, like this. Not bad at all. Okay. Now, the insides. I can just one at a time. Pretty sweet. This is this the steel building? Okay. The Hall of Special Events. What am I missing there? Okay, here the Hall of Communications. The DuPont Building Exposition, the Ford Motor Company Building. It kind of reminds me of the Apple plant. You know how Apple builds stuff. And you'll notice the inside, they've got this like Babylonian garden. It's a walled garden. Here's another interesting curved marine transportation hall. So they've got a fake river, boats on the inside. The Federal Building and the surrounding area. And the information booth. These are so cool. Hold on one second. Okay, this one is the Empire State Building, number 70, I guess, or New York City 70. Is it the address? Someone more New Yorker than me. I don't actually remember the numbers of buildings in New York, which you're supposed to do because they don't have like cute names of streets as often. But it's interesting how lit up it is. And God, if it's not the most beautiful material, I want to make things, print things like this. The nicest printing, it just feels so good in your hands. It's amazing. Okay, let me close this up a little bit safer because it is from 1939. Wow. Okay. Here is also, to be delicate, with a map of the heart of New York for local tourist transit guides to New York World's Fair. Grand Central Terminal. The finest fleet of trains via New York, Great Lakes, Niagara Falls, Mohawk Valley, Hudson River, New York Central System. Not bad at all. How to get the most out of your trip to the New York World's Fair. Here's a little map showing you travel. Cleveland, Columbus, St. Louis, Missouri, Chicago. All the places that would take you between the Chicago World's Fair and the New York World's Fair, which was, the Chicago World's Fair was before it, but the New York World's Fair is the greatest travel magnet of the year 1939. Millions will visit it from near and far. It will be the greatest of all the fairs, and in itself will be a liberal education of the world of today, and an index of what may be expected in the world of tomorrow. No one who can possibly visit the fair should fail to do so, and wise travelers will make the most of the trip, seeing all the worthwhile things they can on the way. At the same time, assure their safety and complete comfort at a small cost. To these wise travelers, the New York Central System has the complete answer. It offers the following unique advantages. The water level route. It is the internationally known water level route between the Atlantic seaboard and the Mississippi Valley, assuring the utmost in travel comfort. Its trains glide swiftly and safely over a velvet smooth roadbed that makes travel a pleasure and robs it of fatigue. Kent, thank you, buddy. Thank you for consistently entertaining and informative streams, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, Katie, thank Katie, because she sent this one. This one's pretty great. Got to admit. The The scenic route. I'm like hiding behind here. Like, do you remember that show Home Improvement where he's like the neighbor and you can't see him? That's how I feel right now. And I'm fine with it. Okay. Where was this at? Robs you of fatigue. That's right. The scenic route. It offers a scenic combination that is the despair of writers to describe. It offers a scenic combination that is the despair of writers to describe, or artists to picture. Niagara Falls, the Mohawk Valley, and the Hudson River. Passengers between the west and the east may stop over at Niagara Falls without additional charge, and the glories of the Mohawk Valley and the Hudson River may be seen from the car window. The New York Central alone can offer you this beautiful ride across the Empire State. I mean, this is pretty sweet. I love this. New York Central passengers arrive at the Great Grand Central Terminal, the heart of New York, at Park Avenue and 42nd Street. Grouped around or within short walking distance of the Grand Central are the famous hotels, shopping, and amusement centers that mean New York to the visitor and pleasure bent. Grand Central is the only railroad terminal in New York having direct subway connections with the World's Fair. From it, there is fast, frequent service via the IRT subway to the fair gates at the 5-cent fare. But here is something that is important to remember. New York is amply supplied with local transit and facilities to the World's Fair and wherever you may locate during your stay in the city. One of New York's 3 subway systems, C-Map herein, will take you quickly to the fair grounds. Greatly reduced fares. Round trips fares have been offered by the New York Centrals are so low that the idea of using your own car as a matter of economy may be dismissed. And in the matter of comfort, there is but one choice, the railroad. No highway congestion, no parking problems, no traffic signals to watch. The dependable and experienced engineer does the driving. You relax in the comfort of your perfectly appointed Pullman or modern-day coach, and you'll enjoy the trip via the New York Central. You'll be safe, and you'll have more time to spend at the fair. Well, I think that's the way I'm going to go. I think I'm going to take the train. Trains are great. So long as they don't, watch you get drunk and get upset at you. But these days, they let anybody on a train. Howdy, Toffer. Hey, thanks, Sticky Marks. 5 pounds. Etc. Oh, look, a red balloon. A balloon. Seems I'm away with the Fae. Forgot what I was going to say. Because you're doing one of those traveler jokes. One of those, Cockney rhymes. I like it. I got to work on my Cockney rhymes. I should watch the Mighty Boosh again, or there's better choices, what's that one? Faulty Towers? Yeah, whatever. I like a lot of British shows. It's been a minute since I've watched any of them, so it's hard for me to even imagine how I would do the rhyme jokes. But I love... Do you guys know what that is, right? Where they do the rhymes and then the word means something opposite. For instance, what's it called? A couch is a Chestershire because of the name of a brand that rhymed with it. I don't know. I'm going to go down to get a toke because it rhymes with smoke, maybe? Is that? I don't know. I'm not sure. British people. You guys are clever. I love it. Irish I am. Oh, well, that's even better. Technically, I have Irish blood. My Fitzgerald and Hand, which is Fitzgerald are really Normans, but they were in Ireland, and Hand, which is pretty Irish. I think that's a pretty Irish name, as far as I've heard, But that's my dad's mother's side have Hand, and my mother's father. My mother's father's side have Fitzgerald. That's how that works. All right. Well, now that you know how Irish I may or may not be. Optical returns via Washington. New York Fair. Ooh. You know what? This is interesting knowing about the prices of things. How much about to pay. If you had a big family and you're going to go. Your hotel accommodations in New York are assured. By taking advantage of the New York City all-expense tour arranged by the New York Central in conjunction with the American Express Travel Service, you will see the fair in a convenient and economical manner. And what is most important, be assured of hotel accommodations. These tours, which are as low as $9.30 for 2 days to $26.85 for 7 days, cover every necessary expense. So you imagine in 1939 spending $30 on a tour, even $10 on a tour. $10 is a decent amount of money. Like in 1939, what could you get for $10 in 1939? Like, let's do just like a quick. I'm just kind of curious. Oops, I don't know. Is that the worst window for anyone to ever see? There's nothing like dangerous on that screen, right? Like my info. I think I'm okay. What have I done? My computer doesn't like it when I start to open windows. Oh, well, this is actually kind of funny. Where's this window? I did have this window open. There we go. Mendel Schneerson. I've been meaning to tell you guys about this just because nobody tells you. Nobody talks about Mendel Schneerson. Mendel Schneerson is this. So the other day, somebody said, I'm going back to this stuff, but just I don't want to not bring it up because it's funny. The other day, someone brought up, they said, oh, when Jesus comes back, or, something like that. And I said, it was on Base AF, I said, or when Mendel Schneerson comes back, which is funny because in the 80s, until like 1994, and even after, there are people that still believe this, that Menachem Mendel Schneerson was he was the Messiah, He's like Jesus, no, but Menachem Schneerson, yeah, Mendel Schneerson was the Messiah, that's the official story. Very interesting guy, kind of interesting. The Reb, a Lubavitcher. He was a part of the Chabad Lubavitch, he was kind of the leader of the Lubavitch movement, really. And, yeah, he basically, he talked to, Jimmy Carter was asked by Congress to designate Schneerson's birthday as a National Education USA holiday. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to have to at some point cover with this guy. Maybe I should save it, though, because I'm doing the World Fair stuff. But it's just so interesting to me. But I wanted to see, what could you get for $10? $10 in what? 1939 value calculator. $210. Yeah, so about $210. You know what I mean? There's different ways of looking at it, but yeah, basically a $10 tour, and then what was the other tour that they said? Like a $30 tour was like $26.85. $26.85, and again, what's it really? But yeah, like a $500 tour in New York, crazy. But again, I guess what else are you gonna spend your money on? At that time, you don't need stuff or something. I'm not sure how could you do that? That's just crazy. But yeah, I guess tours can be expensive. I spent a little bit of money on tours in New York, but not really, because a lot of this stuff's free. You know what I mean? Like there's a free ferry. There's all kinds of free stuff. It's designed so that people that come to New York who don't know any better can spend a bunch of money on free things that, yeah, you can charge people to do this, I guess. But the city pays for so many of the things that if you live in New York, you can just do them for free, which is pretty funny. Yeah, and Benevolent Dream says Ian Crossland is the second coming of Jesus. He thought so for a while. I remember when he was younger, like 2010 or something like that. And I think he really kind of believed that he was Jesus. Yeah, but he's all right now. It happens, to the best of us. So train service, well, you know what? We got the map of New York. They could only sell it so hard. Once they get the money down, they've already given you all the best information, all the glories. The Caves of the Wind on Goats Island. Do you want to check out the Caves of the Wind? Interesting. We're going to have to go to this. There's a cheap... Can you still go in this cave? Is this still a thing? What if it's shut down? What if, this used to be, a thing? You can go in the Niagara Falls caves. And I haven't been there, so someone tell me. If you've been to the Niagara Falls, can you still go in the Cave of the Winds behind Niagara Falls? Sorry, I'm just, looking at this thing all excited, and you're like, what is he talking about? This is Niagara Falls, and there's, what happened was at one point they broke it, and they had all this equipment designed to build it and add new concrete because it kept breaking down, and eventually they weren't going to be falls anymore because it became gentle. So they kept these amazing falls, which must have been kind of in other words, these Niagara Falls are very recent falls, which is interesting. But then behind them, the Cave of Winds, right? So, like the glittering eye of the ancient mariner, the Cave of the Winds captures your attention. You will agree with thousands of others. The Cave of the Winds trip in Niagara's most thrilling experience. It's a trip that thrills. From no other point does one have such a full realization of the eternal beauty, the majesty, and the power of Niagara. You can make the trip in 40 minutes. The stirring impression you will remember a lifetime. On Goat Island, midway between the American and Horseshoe Falls, you come to a very most attractive building with a wide, spacious veranda. This is the dressing room. The starting point of the trip that thrills. Quote unquote, the trip that thrills. With capital T's all the way through. Here, courteous attendants receive you. In a clean, private room, you don a sterilized suit of flannel and a waterproof garment. With a guide, you go down the elevator to the base of the cliffs. You walk through a short tunnel to the river's edge. The mighty cataracts thunder to the right and to the left of you. An easy footpath beckons you on the glories ahead. Soon you arrive at the first of the series of strong, sturdy bridges. The first of these bridges carry you through the picturesque massive rock of the ages. Then suddenly you realize that you are standing directly in front of both the American and the Central or Bridal Veil Falls. The great walls of the water come rushing down, silvered in the sunlight with glorious rainbows formed in the spray clouds. Here you get a true sense of the majesty of the falls, all of the tremendous power of the water as they hurl over the precipice from a height of 168 feet. Beyond the bridge curves to the right. Passing Sensation Point, you come nearer and nearer to the base of the American Falls until you stand within 25 feet of the great curtain of water. Dull would have been the soul of any who could pass by a sight so untouched by its majesty. If you don't feel this reading, if you don't love Niagara Falls now, I mean, I kind of feel touched by an angel. All right. Excuse me. Then, on across another bridge to Hurricane Deck, where you stand in awe of the massive, marvelous scene directly in front of you, the famous Cave of the Winds, behind the Central or Bridal Veil Falls. This cave is the largest natural opening, a back of a waterfall, in the world, to the entrance of which visitors are conducted. Returning by way of Rainbow Bridge, you view in all the gorgeous rainbows of the spectrum, the complete circle rainbow, the heavenly arches, the glories in their coloring and formations. I mean, yeah, I want to go. And then, with many a backward look at the magical spectacle in its entirety, you slowly return to the pathway on the elevators. In a twinkling, you are brought to the top of the bank. You return to the dressing room, change to your own clothing, and you will suddenly realize that you are back again in this rather matter-of-fact world after having a glimpse of one of nature's most glorious paradises. Please remember that this noted attraction has been in operation for over 100 years. Thousands of people have enjoyed it. The bridges are absolutely safe. They are rebuilt each spring and never follow the same course, being placed on new foundations on the natural rock. The charge of $1 for every person is made for the use of the special clothing, guiding services, and all others rendered. There is no other expense. The fee established by the state of New York in 1885 has never been changed. It was $1 in 1885 and it's $1 in 1930. What does that tell you about the dollar? It used to mean something. I mean, you sold me. I'm going. I'm going to go see that. I'm going to go to the 1939 expo at the Winds trip. That looks like where I belong. I hope it's still there. History of Mount Vernon. Bum ba-dum bum bum. George Washington and Mount Vernon. The Washington title to Mount Vernon dates to the grant of 1674 of 5,000 acres. A few months before his death, Washington selected the site for a new family burial vault, including his own will directions for the building. The new vault was completed in 1831 and transfers made. I think this is his tomb. You want to go check out that? That sounds pretty sweet. Somebody did this, you know what I mean? Imagine he was in his 30s or 40s and he finally had just enough money so he could do that. Yeah, BD. Yeah, Benevolent Dreams. Talk to you soon. Peace. Enjoy your errands. What we got here? Madison Square Garden. All right. I mean, sweet, right? Dude, just the quality of prints back then, too. It's like a glue. I love it. I love it. Cathedral of the Divine. There we go. It's pretty sweet. St. John the Divine, and this cathedral, 601 feet breadth at transepts 320 feet. Western Tower, Episcopal denomination and building commenced St. John's Day. Broadway, New York. This is Broadway, New York. It's pretty sweet. Looks like a Notre Dame kind of thing going on there. Ooh. Notes. I remember this one time I found a book by Gauguin and a bunch of like the Polynesian, the Dutch or whatever, the French Dutchish, the Walloon Fleming Frenchman, or is he Belgian? Forget. Was Gauguin Belgian? Hold on. I need to remember things like this to be happy. Gauguin. Loading. Internet. Is he French or Belgian? Somebody remember. Somebody tell me. Dude. Interesting, because Gauguin's name is also like an NVIDIA research project. That's what I'm going to see. Okay. Gauguin. Here we go. Load. Oh, wait. Can you see that? Okay. French, right? Born in France? Born in Paris. Yeah, he's Parisian. Makes sense. Anyway, side note. So I'm in like San Diego, and I see a Gauguin book and a bunch of love letters written back and forth over the period of like 5 years. It's like an entire love relationship from these two people that were, and this is real, like next to the book. They're like back and forth, distant relationship of letters to each other on postcards. Clearly these are like artists, and they're not just sending emails. You know, they might be like 10 years. I was like 19. So imagine these guys were probably in their 30s or 40s by the time I saw this, because, you know, they probably were young adults when they wrote them. And over the period of time, yeah, I mean, he liked Island Girls. Who wouldn't? What's he gonna do? Paint pictures of the Eiffel Tower all day? Yeah, big metal cages. Exciting, you know? And, yeah, syphilis. So getting away from the syphilis would have been a good thing. Good job, Gauguin. You know, don't worry about that. But there was a point. Oh, yeah, the love letters. And you can just watch this relationship get more and more intense. And they're both, like, not with each other. So they're more and more talking about their love. They have, because of the other person, they've accumulated so much more love and passion. And their art's going back and forth until eventually, like, I forget, but they break it off, you know. And it's like, and so obviously they threw their apartment stuff out into the street. And then two teenagers, myself and my friend Eli, just found all of their love letters. And oh yeah, that rather reminds me of this, because we have these notes from people, and but they're not quite, they don't look like love letters exactly. Like this one says a bunch of facts and figures, you know. 17, let's see, $10 Empire State Building ticket, $2 stories high top. 17,908 people went to the top. 48 states plus 48 foreign countries were up there that week. Took a 50-cent bus sightseeing trip over fairgrounds. Farm of Tomorrow. Everything was electrical. Amusement area. Bill Rossi's Aquacade. Medical building states. General Motors. 3-hour wait. Height. Lights at night. Cincinnati, Lovely Depot. This is great. I love this though. Like I do that. Like if I find someone's journal from the 60s or 50s, I'm reading it. I can't help it. It's like, I remember I found my grandfather's library. He had his like journal, and a bunch of them, because he wrote like every day, all his life. So I remember finding one that was like 1977 Sunday. Went golfing with Jimmer Fitzgerald. It's like, okay. But, you know, you're like, wow, golfing in Cameroon. I mean, it must have been amazing. Imagine how beautiful a golf course was in like 1978 or whatever. They have nice golf carts, new electronics. It's like that Caddyshack movie. It's like the pinnacle, you know. 1981 is really the pinnacle of golf, I think. But 78 would have been good. Maybe it's just consumerism is 81. So 77, it probably still was the peak. People still had golf courts and golf carts. I mean, Wednesday, 26 cents, 1939. Went to fair today. Had a good time as usual, with usual crossed out partially, then rewritten in cursive better. Say crossed out. Saw Billy. Ross's Aquacade. It was sure swell. I'm not kidding. It says that. It was sure swell. There were 72 and more in the water. Oh, it must have been like dancing girls or whatever at one time. Didn't get in until 20 o'clock this morning. Wait. 2 o'clock this morning. Yeah. 2 o'clock this morning. We went in the French building and General Motors building and Russian building and many more others. Am going to Coney Island Thursday. It's amazing to think, like, what were they going to do with this? Was this going to be sent in the mail? Like, or is this just going to be their way of remembering? Because they didn't have a vlog, so they would take a note for themselves so they could remember that day better. What was the plan with these? Thursday, the 27th, 1939. Thursday, 27th. Why not put the month? I mean, I guess, forever or something. What was the plan? I don't know. Went to Coney Island, and this morning, and this Monday, and went in Bothering Mother, went with Sam, went in the water nearly up to my neck. Mother and I both got salt. Oh, we both got salt because we went into the water up to our necks. Okay. Water in our mouths. Both got salt water in our mouths. Oh, okay. I wanted that to mean more. Mother and I both got salt water in our mouths. I saw a little girl looked younger than I did and could swim. Then this, after we went to the dime store and bought some things, it ruined this afternoon. She can't swim. That's awesome. Yeah, this shirt, Plaid Panther, thank you. I'm going to wear this today because, what time is it, by the way? I have a couple things going on today. I should have mentioned. I'm going to do, like, at Timcast time, like at 8 EST, because I'm going to have something earlier than that. I'm going to have Wednesday Ultra. So, Flood's going to be here. Hopefully, other people from Base AF, if they can make it. And we'll just try to do a show at that time about French cartoons and Quebec-y films and whatever. They can bring up normal things or crazy things. It's going to be fine. But but I'm going to do my interview with Bryn today, who he led the Arthur C. Clarke Museum, did the Echo the Dolphin Sega Dreamcast game. I just love Echo the Dolphin. And he wrote the Uplift series. But he also, the thing you're going to know him from is he wrote The Postman. Because a lot of people hate The Postman. All of my friends all of my fans, I hope, love The Postman. And The Postman's a great book. It's a great movie. Kevin Costner is what it is. Some people hate it. I feel like people who hate it are weird. Yeah, Flawed's cool. I'm going to see if Benevolent Dreams is free. Probably invite him on as well. So it'll be kind of fun to just, I'm just trying to get the talking shows going. But Bryn's an interesting guy. And I've got something with Blake Lemoine coming up, who's the AI, the guy who quit Google, the Gnostic priest guy. So both of them are on the opposite sides of the issue. So the main reason I want to have Bryn is because he's kind of he's open to a lot of things. He's a very open-minded guy, but he's also very critical and cynical. And so he's like, no, this isn't AI, and here's why. And we'll have him say that, and then we can have Blake later come on and talk about why it doesn't matter what we think of as like a clump of cells doesn't matter to a person if a corporation is a person and there's no clump of cells. So our idea of corporate personhood has more to do with responsibilities and taxes, potential tax paying. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. So I'll be doing that later. Let's see here. Lincoln Memorial by night. See, if the Lincoln Memorial still looked like this, it looks so much better in this picture. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still looks nice, but when you get up close to it, it's just a little shoddy. Wow, scenic drive through New Mexico, the white sands of New Mexico. Pretty sweet. And then this is this is Arlington. Well, oh man, boom, these are great. I love these. These are so good. Okay, Arlington, Virginia. Ooh, and they're double-sided, so I definitely missed a bunch of the other ones, so I'll have to show you those another time. But here's the bus that took you places. It's a nice bus. And their bridge, this is what Arlington actually, it kind of still looks like this. They did not change too much, but it is interesting. Whoa. Interior memorial of the Parthenon-looking thing. Was it the Memorial Amphitheater? Memorial Amphitheater. Yeah, Virginia's nuts, dude. Hold on. Boom. You gotta admit, Virginia is pretty swell. I mean, it seems weird, but Virginia is swell. It's a very nice place. Got good, it's nice. It's nice. Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. I was there this summer. I should put that video up. Is that video up? There's a video I did where I saw the changing of the guard. I think it was like the last changing of the guard, January 5th. So, left Lakeman 5:10. Oh, left Lakeman 5:10 a.m. Saturday, July 22nd on bus. Arrived in Hannibal at 6:05. Left there at Hannibal, Missouri. So Lake Moyne? Maybe it's Lake Moyne. Oh, this person's from Lake Moyne? That's interesting. Okay, so then they got to Missouri, and then they went from Hannibal to St. Louis, arrived in St. Louis at 10:40, left St. Louis at 1:10 p.m. Saturday, July 22nd. Arrived in Washington, D.C. Sunday, July 23rd, 11 a.m. Now, Colonel Hold. Left house, hold, I don't know. Left Washington, D.C., 1:30 a.m. Monday, July 24th. Arrived in Jersey City, about 6 p.m. Ferried because the Hudson River, ferried ferried across the Hudson River, and then bus to hotel about 8 p.m. Man, what a trip. Ooh, one more of these. Niagara Falls. Dude, I want to make these into t-shirts. This is crazy. Niagara Falls. Wow. Thank you again, Katie, because, like, these are great. These are just absolutely beautiful. Man. I would imagine, since she's not yakking it up, she's not here yet, though. So I'll have to hopefully get this to her so she knows that we did cover this. Wow. Niagara Falls is pretty sweet. Pretty crazy place, man. Pretty crazy. Although I do prefer Iguazu Falls. I can only imagine that there must be a similar vibe living around a waterfall. Wow. And there's a bunch more where that came from. There's this folder here. And let me just try to sightseeing. They have everything that they had from their trip got saved. Everything. Let me show you as best I can. Maybe I could turn this screen like this so you can see it better. I mean, I can't do this one. This one's going to be hard to show you because you can see the paper is literally falling apart in some of this stuff. So I'm going to only do, I'm going to have to just, I'll pick up the less delicate stuff and let you see the very top. That's all I can imagine doing of the top of the delicate pages. But I'm not going to flip through them. Wow, I got to be very careful with these. Some of these are on their last legs. Here, but this is interesting. What's it say? General Motors Exhibition Building. Oh, guys, I'm going to have to do like photocopy work one at a time. Ooh, yeah, you got to be really careful here. Okay. There you go. You can see the beginning of that. I'm going to probably just photocopy this stuff for you guys. I really don't want to destroy it. I'm worried that if I pick it up, it's going to get destroyed. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. I can show you a couple of the pieces that aren't even this is like, how do I keep you safe paperwork? Well, okay, this one is okay to open. The General Motors paperwork. If I can just, these are like the more soft ones. Whoa. City of the Future. The plans for the City of the Future. Diesel passenger 4,000 horsepower steam-lined locomotive. I mean, people don't even get that, right? That steam trains, if you're talking about horsepower, these are 4,000 horsepower, Talking about your car. I mean, it's like, these things existed. Hall of Mirrors. The apartment house section of the Highway and Horizons Hall of Mirrors developed to display products manufactured by 12 General Motor parts and accessory divisions. Man, this is pretty sweet. Well, those are pretty great. All right, well, I'm going to save, because like the rest of the stuff, it is really delicate, and I don't want to destroy it. So let me package some of this stuff up in the safest way I can. Hold on. Is this okay? No, I'll put those on top of these. There we go. This, there, that. Boom. To start with. Oh, one more. There we go. Okay, so thank you, Katie. That was pretty sweet. See, look at this. I hate to even admit this happened. This came from one of those really delicate pieces, so I'm going to save it there. You got to be really careful with that stuff, so I'm not even going to go flipping through some of those really thin magazine pages from 1939. I'm not even going to do that. I might photocopy them if I can lay them out, but if I do that, I'm worried that might be the last day they ever exist. Because, oxygenation it's a dangerous thing, so. Well, where are we at with time? Okay. Got a couple things more I wanted to show you anyway. So, let's go to... We were at the Gauguin thing. I know where we can start. So there's this movie that some of you may or may not have seen. Oh, no. News. Because I knew I was going to skip this. So Travis Barker from Machine Gun Kelly and Blink-182 hospitalized for pancreatitis following colonoscopy. And this is really sad, and we're all rooting for him and praying for the guy. And I hope he doesn't have ink poisoning on top of everything else because, he's got a lot of things going on in his life. And he's a great drummer and apparently a nice enough guy, etc. But, I mean, I don't want to be, I respect his privacy, etc. I just don't want to be the only guy who forgets to make the enema of the state joke about his pancreatitis. So I'm going to do it firstly and foremost. Hopefully I'm the first to say it because it's too soon to do this, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I love you very much, and I hope you're doing okay. But you know how if we don't make jokes, then we take things too seriously, and yeah, so. All right, I hope that's okay. A little racy, a little dodgy. Super Sentai Man, this is the thing I really wanted to show you guys. What's going on? There we go. I really wanted to show you guys this Kojin Sentai Jetman show, but Toei Animation and their parent company are trying to fight me, which is really funny, because I tend to try not to fight members of the Yakuza, and usually end up their friends. But in this particular circumstance, I don't know. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Because I really want to put this out there and let you guys see it. But this is the adult-ish Power Rangers show that came out the year before the Power Rangers did in Japan. It's like the most interesting one, in my opinion. It's really good. And so I was going to tell you all about it and like watch an episode on the channel. But I can't get the episode to play on the channel without getting us in a lot of trouble. So let me just explain the idea. You know that the Power Rangers have 25 years worth of Sentai to fall upon that came before them, and then they were just sort of cut out. The Japanese were cut out and replaced with American actors, but the action sequences stayed the same, but only from the one season they'd made them, because every year they have new dolls for their free show so that their parents will buy the kids the new dolls, and if they don't have them, then their parents are poor, and so kids have to have the new dolls. The best part of the dolls was you could combine them together. So either you had all the dolls because you were super rich, or, you know, every kid had one of the parts, and they had a group of 5 friends. And that's how you forced friends to develop groups, is because they wanted to share and collaborate in building up a Zorg or Mega Zorg-like character. And you can see early Jetman helmets, you know, Power Ranger helmets, everything that comes from this. This is the series before, but it was a bit too adult for people. It's kind of scary. There's a thing where, like, they're fighting their nightmares a lot. I mean, the main idea is the governments of the world have forbidden Japan from building the Super Sentai Rangers, and they need them because aliens and demons are always fighting humans, so they have to apologize to Japan. Look how thick their thighs are. And I'm for it. I love it. Whoa. Pink Ranger got some thick thighs. What the heck? I mean, it's rad. It's just... Sorry that's what blows my mind. Anyway, Power Rangers, Jetman, what was I going to say? Something like that. I don't know. You can watch episodes of this is the biggest irony. Like, you can find this show for free on YouTube with subtitles. I recommend you do. It's pretty sweet. The one episode I was going to recommend checking out was the tomato one, where, first off, you have to understand, one of these is a high schooler. The other guy's in the military. It's like a secret military experiment that the Japanese have given, like, jet eagle power. It's some bird. You know, they figured out, like, birds put off some weird kind of radiation or something, kind of electromagnetic energy, and they give him that. So now he's got, like, bird powers. Then there's this dude who's just a ladies' man who likes to get in fights and make love and womanize, and he ends up one of the team, and they all have to work together to save Japan. But the dude in the middle here, load that up. It's going to eventually show up. The dude in the middle here with the glasses, right? The Blue Ranger kind of guy, right? Glasses over here. Well, his problem is that when he was a kid, he was attacked by a giant tomato or some kind of demon in his nightmares because he didn't like tomatoes, and now he has to fight off nightmares. And there's nightmares made out of a tomato demon monster. And if you ever watch the Power Rangers, you'll remember that the bad guys looked really weird because they were like tomatoes, and that's because of this show. Because they were trying to fight off evil demons inside themselves, which became a very popular idea. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer has the demons are their own personal demons as well. So a lot of that comes from this Japanese period. I forget the name of it. What's it called? Tokusatsu or whatever the heck, you know? Somebody tell me. Japanese special effects movie genre. Something like that. Tokusatsu, right. There you go. Tokusatsu is the genre of special effects in Japanese, really. It's a bigger thing. Tokusatsu is Japanese special effects style movies, but if anyone ever said, you know, Andreas, I have $120 million. I want to make a movie. I want you to make a movie, Andreas. What kind of movie are you going to make? Oh, I'm going to make a tokusatsu film. Right? That's what you know, Andreas will make a tokusatsu film. All right, the next random movie that I feel like is important to mention to you guys. I've been following this dude, J.J. McCullough, who's this Canadian and anti-Quebecer. And I like Quebec. You know, I'm a fan of French culture in general, kind of a Francophile, I guess. I mean, a little bit. I also am I can relate to him also in acknowledging the obnoxiousness of any person, regardless of whether or not I like their culture. But JJ, as he says it, has said that, the preference for the French in Canada is a bit prejudiced because there's ample other examples of cultures that have at least as many Chinese live in Canada as do French people, at least as many Indians do, at least as many Muslims, probably triple as many Muslims do. So the idea of Canada being very French is kind of a misnomer. It's as French as other things, but French as a protected culture, as integral to what France to Canada is. I mean, anyway, JJ is not for it. I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. I think they should make everybody in Canada learn French. I think that'd be hilarious. But the reason I bring it up is because I was like, hey, remember that movie, The Peanut Butter Solution? Because there's this, okay, there's more, there's a little bit more context. C11. Come on, Internet. Don't fail me now. I gotta get through this because I got another show after this. Come on, I got 2. C11, Canada. Come on. Canada. There we go. No, well, there's that too. That's probably the only way people are going to care, is they're going to censor porn. But hear me out. Censoring porn that isn't Canadian enough, right? Like, what if your porn, they're like, cut, there's not enough, you got to use maple syrup, and I want everyone making some hockey lines in there. Yeah. They want to say that internet content is part of media, and therefore all social media characters like yourself and I, if we were Canadian, or even if not, if we're making Canadian content, content about Canada, would have to follow what Canada's government decides is culturally Canadian. And this is beyond racism, but yeah, it's an abstraction of racism, based on this idea of what is French Canadian, what is that? So trying to protect Canadian culture, they could literally take your content off for not being Canadian enough. Yes, you Canada. I mean, it's pretty horrible. Anyway, I wanted to bring it up because, and I've done an episode before that you can watch. If you haven't seen my Aleister Crowley, Care Bears, Winnie the Pooh, I do a whole thing, Care Bears 666 Nelvana. I'll have to put it up again or find like a link. I don't remember the name of the episode. It's like an hour-long episode about the Care Bears. And it's about Nelvana making the Care Bears from Rock and Roll. And so basically, I'll just really quickly say it again, but you can find the episodes way more in depth. They were making shows in Canada because Disney was in Canada because the government of Britain, working with Disney, built an animation studio in order to sell stamps for taxes for World War II. And it was a cartoon with the 7 dwarves and Snow White going down to their Canadian boutique to buy stamps for the war. Buy bonds, stamp bonds. Spork-faced man says, I'm Canadian and I hate Canada. Well, you know what? I'm gonna allow you to show your comment. That's hilarious. I think a lot of people are things and hate where they are. It's not really Canada's fault if that's the case. But I like Canada in the sense that I like The Peanut Butter Solution, which is a creepy movie, which is what I'm trying to get to, but I'm taking my time with it. The point is, Nelvana came out of Disney building this stamp bond cartoon commercial. Nelvana, then Canadian government, using this patented Disney technology, made all these animations, and you can watch The Devil and Daniel Mouse. I don't know. Look up Nelvana. You'll find a bunch of cartoons they made, but the one that really sticks out to me is Rock and Rule, where a demon is a warlock, thousands of years in the future, after the fall of humans. Maybe not thousands of years. After the fall of humans and radiation mutation has turned anthropomorphic mice from the Disney world into the only characters left in Canada. They're in this place called Town. Right? Which is like, I guess, Omega and Toronto. And the Ohm symbol backwards is the upside down flipped Omega symbol and whatever. Anyway, Mock, this rock star, Mock, an occultist, is having a Battle of the Bands contest where he's looking for the perfect voice to summon a demon. And they wire this girl to the circuit board and make her make noises like Max Martin did to Britney Spears. And all of a sudden you've got this pentagram of lasers and it's consuming the audience. And it takes a couple tries and, a couple audiences later. But when they finally have sacrificed the right people and gotten the right voice working, and Blondie, Cheap Trick, Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, Earth, Wind, and Fire all do music for this movie. It's crazy. The craziest soundtrack. Greatest soundtrack ever. Rock and roll. They went bankrupt making this satanic cartoon. Canada didn't really even know what to do with it, how to put it out, but the government had technically allowed them to make it. And so Rock and Rule then drove them to make the Care Bears to deal with their bankruptcy. And the Care Bears came out of that, but Winnie the Pooh is Aleister Crowley. A. Milne talked a lot about Satanism. Believe it or not, Christopher Robin, the Christopher, and this whole idea of the 100-acre woods is the crusade and everything. And Winnie, there's Winifred, there's a whole thing with Wind and Pooh that have to do with Aleister Crowley, that have to do with, he's the mercurial messenger, like Satan. And the Beast, Winnie the Pooh's the Beast, I think is the most obvious one. Care Bears, at very least, is based on that idea. If there's much truth to that, which I believe there is, then Care Bears is even based on that regardless. It's saying there is, a news story based on this idea of Thelema and love is the law, right? And all of this new age, Satanism, because after the reset is new age. So, okay, I think I got through the Care Bears. The point is, Canada makes people make movies, and if you go ahead, you've seen on my channel, I think I talked to Ryan Long, Danny Polishchuk about this a bit. If you make a movie about like a transgendered, indigenous lesbian who is disabled and recycles and works on a maple syrup farm, or like their dad comes, whatever, you hit all of the Mad Lib, they'll give you like money for every single thing that you hit, so you can get grants for including all of these PRC SJW causes. And that's freaking great. I think that Canada does that. It's brilliant, because it's like product placement, but it's ideological agenda placement, right? And that's fine. I think that works. I could make a movie where my main character is a Native American lesbian, or I can make a movie where my main character is driving a Red Bull car. You know what I mean? Like one or the other. Either I'm getting money from Red Bull for driving the car, or I'm getting money from the Canadian government for making my character appeal to taxpayers. And I think that's a pretty reasonable way to give people money. Now we can do it. Now we can get to the peanut butter experiment. So the peanut butter solution is the craziest movie, and you can watch it for free on YouTube. Don't let anyone tell you different. There is one version that I saw that you had to pay for. But if you type in the name in French, for sure, it just comes up. And I would put it up myself, but I don't see the point. I mean, but you can find it. So this movie is about a dude with like beautiful long hair and a crazy dad, and he's got his nice dad really, and his sister who's chill. But then there's this dude who's a painter, and the painter's name is Le Signor, spelled with a G, like French style, the Signor, and he's insane. And basically, also this kid goes and gives money to a homeless person, and gets scared. And when he wakes up, all of his hair falls out. And after that, he has no hair, and it's really embarrassing. And kids make fun of the kid, and it's terrifying. Imagine you're a kid and you lose all your hair. It was really scary. So then he starts wearing a wig to school, but that doesn't work because somebody pulls his wig off his head while he's at school. And, the gum and glue didn't work. So now he's shown off as being bald, freak, and that's no good. So he comes up with the idea of painting his head with peanut butter, because I forget how that works, but under a full moon, how French Canadians have all those special Chinese medicine tricks or whatever. So paints his head with peanut butter under a full moon, wakes up, and it won't stop growing. It just won't stop growing. His hair just grows and grows. And in class, they're like cutting his hair off because it just won't stop growing. And it's really like embarrassing for the kid, and the teacher's annoyed because he's like, how could your hair possibly be growing while you're in class? Like, I can't help it. It's just all day. It just won't stop growing. So that movie, with stolen children, this creepy old man who paints weird pictures, and the paintings move, Bob Ross, magic, something like that. Basically what I'm telling you is, please watch The Peanut Butter Solution to process my own childhood trauma, but you don't have to if you don't like weird movies. But why are you here? You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely a great kids movie. You could even show your kids this movie. Nobody dies or anything like that. It's just super creepy. It's super creepy. I mean, imagine losing your hair if you're a little kid. It's creepy. This is part of a larger series of movies that was made by, what's his name? Michael Rubo. And he had a bunch of music that was involved in it from, what's her name? You know, the French-Canadian who did Titanic. Not Shania Twain. I do this every time. Somebody tell me the name of the singer. Shania. What is that? You know that lady. She sings songs. She's French-Canadian. My heart will go on. My heart will go on. I forget. My heart will go on. So this is part of a larger series. Is it going to tell me the name of that? Because I forget that too. Yeah, Celine Dion. Celine Dion. Can you imagine forgetting the name of Celine Dion? That was an unusual moment for me. So this was part of a group of videos, Severin Films, right? Is that wrong? No. That's not right. This guy made like 7 or 12 French-Canadian movies that are masterpieces. Is this right, guy? Yeah, I think Rock de Mai, Tales for All. There it is. This guy made a bunch of children's 80s movies that are really offbeat French-Canadian movies. The Christmas Martian, right? The Dog Who Stopped the War. That's the one to watch. Maybe even with your kids, depending. I mean, I think there's like a scene where they're selling dead rats to buy hockey equipment because it's like, you know, late 70s or something. And the dude who's buying the dead rats doesn't really care. He's just trying to help the local kids out. And he figures them cleaning up the community and him giving them a few bucks for it isn't the worst way for that to happen. It's a weird movie. Bach and Broccoli. The Young Magician. A Canadian-Polish film shot in Poland. Boy treated as an outcast, and then he discovers he has the ability to practice magic. Tadpole and the Whale, The Great Land of the Small, Tommy Tricker and the Stamp Traveler. I love these movies. These are so good. Is Vincent and Me one? I forget which one that is. But yeah, all these weird French movies, dude. French-Canadian movies. Way weirder than French movies or French-Canadian movies. DVD box set. I'm going to have to get my hands on that. I'm sure that somebody's going to want that. But basically, this guy, La Signor, terrifying. Terrifying, and he has magical paintings and he steals children. So, definitely worth your time to check that out. What time is it? I think I got to get set up for my Bryn interview. So, I appreciate that you guys were here. We'll go over some more of this stuff tomorrow. And then also tonight, remember, the show will go on, I think, at, 8 Eastern Standard Time? So, yeah, that's very soon. That's like in 4 hours. So in like 4 hours, come back, and there'll be more. And Flawed will be here. And hopefully more people, too. Love you very much. Take care.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians. Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarian.